There haven't been scenes like this in Soweto since Nelson Mandela walked to freedom. This is the township he once called home, and there's a special pride here as people celebrate his life.
Nelson Mandela, I want to say thank you for everything, and you saved our world.
Just growing up, we weren't allowed to mention his name. My mom would always say to us, you can't mention that, we're going to get arrested. So it's just always been almost, to me, like this rebellious person who went against the system to fight for us.
So far, we as the nation, there is nothing that we can do. We must just only have to celebrate and commemorate the death of our icon.
Mandela died Thursday at the age of 95. He'd helped lead the fight against apartheid and won the Nobel Peace Prize. South Africans are flying flags at half-staff, and they're holding vigils, some in Soweto, where Mandela once lived, others in Johannesburg, where he died.
He was a well-loved figure around the world. During the more than quarter century that Nelson Mandela was jailed, his freedom became synonymous with his country's freedom. From the 60s, when he was a political prisoner, to recent years when he became one of the world's most admired people, Mandela inspired artists, musicians, poets and many more, all keen to meet this living icon.
I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too, you know. Thank you very much.
Concerts were organised in his honour, like this one in London in June 2008 to mark his 90th birthday.
It is in your hands now.
As a game changer, as a world changer, one of the guys who'll be on our walls for many centuries.
His legacy to the world is incredibly important. It's symbolic and real as well. Because someone who stays 20 years in jail and comes out full of forgiveness, I think it's a legacy to every one of us.
His life has been an incredible inspiration, a struggle. It hasn't been a perfect life, nor does he ever think of a perfect man. But he was the perfect guy, and he had that kind of force of will, and he stood up and he just said no.
A 10-day remembrance is planned. The memorial rituals for Nelson Mandela include both Western traditions and those of his native clan. And we expect them to last for 10 days, culminating with his burial in the South African hills, where he ran and played as a child. For now, Mandela's body has been taken to a military hospital in Pretoria. No public events are expected until early next week, when tens of thousands of mourners are expected to pack a Johannesburg soccer stadium for a public memorial service. A White House official tells CNN that the administration is working on plans for President Obama to be part of that huge crowd. Then, starting on the 6th day after his death, Mandela is expected to lie in state for 3 days in the government seat of Pretoria. It's the same place he took his oath of office as president in 1994. Public visitation may be limited to daylight hours, and long lines are expected. Plans then call for Mandela's body to be flown by military aircraft to his ancestral home in the Eastern Cape. Close relatives and clan elders will accompany the casket as it's ferried by a gun carriage to the remote village of Qunu. And then on the 10th day, under a large tent and under heavy security, thousands of mourners, including dozens of heads of state, will attend a state funeral that'll be broadcast to many millions worldwide.
It'd be a hard heart indeed that wasn't moved by this spectacle, these flowers, these candles, and these messages, many of them written by children born in a post-apartheid South Africa. Messages that all more or less boil down to one thing. Tata Madiba, thank you for freeing our country. Though the race laws are gone, South Africa is still a land of vast economic inequalities. But in death, as in life, Nelson Mandela's unique ability to bring people together and to lift their spirits remains undimmed.